Okay, recording. So when you finish a listing appointment, a close is nothing more than the natural conclusion to an effective presentation, right? And at the end of the appointment, it should end with, so Anna, are you ready to get started? Now, if they say yes, awesome, let's get started. And let's get started means we're going to fill out the paperwork. We're going to get this property on the market. If they say no, or I'm not sure, what I would ask them then is, sure, I understand. And just out of curiosity, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being you don't like anything I said at all and you can't wait for this appointment to be over. And say it just the way I did, right? We're using humor in this conversation. And you're going to smile and add a lot of enthusiasm to the conversation. So with 1 being you don't like anything I said and you can't wait for this appointment to be over, and 10 being I'm the right agent for the job, embedded command. Great script. Now, where am I? On a scale of 1 to 10, where am I? Now, Anna, if they give you a number of a 7, 8, or 9, ideally you want 8 or 9. If it's below 7, then they're not going to hire you. It's just fact. Mm-hmm. Now, if they give you a 7, 8, or 9, the follow-up is great. And what would it take to make it a 10? What would it take for it to be a 10 today, Anna? Now, whatever they give you is the objection. And now all you have to do is overcome the objection. In other words, if they say, well, I'm just not sure of the price. Okay, I understand. And if I were willing to list your property at blank, would you hire me today? Now, yes, I would. Cool. Can I share with you what concerns me about that? Mm-hmm. And now you're just overcoming the objection. Or if they were to say, I'm not sure about your commission. I've had other agents offer to work for less. Okay, fair enough. My fee is 6%. And what does less look like to you? Well, I've had agents offer to work for 5%. Cool. If I were willing to work for 5%, would you hire me today? Well, yeah, I would. Awesome. Now, can I share with you what concerns me about that? Okay? Mm-hmm. All right, you got this. It's easy. Don't make it harder than it is. It really is easy.
John.
All right, John, Michael, hello.
Good morning. So while we're on this grain, a lot of times some of the most objections that we'll hear are those that you have mentioned, or I just need to think about it. Yeah. So I figured this would be a good one for us to get us refreshed on that.
Yeah, sure, Michael. So I understand what I'm hearing you say is I'm the right agent for the job. You just need a little bit of time to think it over.
Yeah, I'd like to kind of sleep it over and think about it.
Yeah, I get that. And you know, we've been sitting here, now I'm at their kitchen table in this conversation. We've been sitting here together for hour and a half, and I've probably gotten quite a few phone calls, maybe some emails, and I can go out to my car, return a couple calls, return a couple emails, give you time to think about this, and you come out and get me when you're done. Would that work?
No, John, I think I really want to take the time to think about it.
You just need to sleep on it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and guys, this is where I like to have fun. Don't do this. That's right. This is where I like to have fun. So when they say they need to sleep on it, my response is, great, which room am I sleeping in? Now, always close. Zig Ziglar would say ABC, always be closing. And if I can't close for a listing today, I'm closing for an appointment tomorrow.
That's right.
So Michael, I understand you needed a night to think about it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, in order for you to hire me, we're gonna have to get back together again in order to do the paperwork, aren't we?
Yes.
Hmm? So why don't we go ahead and schedule an appointment for tomorrow? And that way I've already got you in my book. I've already blocked time for you.
Perfect.
And we can get together tomorrow and fill out the paperwork.
Excellent.
Cool.
All right. Good job.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Talk to me, guys, before we get started on today's conversation. Anything else? Anything else you want to share? Any other victories? Anything? I want one.
I love the part where you said that you sleep in the room. That was so.
Yeah. Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, which room am I sleeping on? Which room
So
am I sleeping in?
I know that Joy and Tara teamed up yesterday on a Zoom listing appointment. And I want to say it lasted almost an hour and a half, 2 hours, and they got the listing.
It's awesome. I love that. Yeah, I think the longest I've ever been in somebody's home was like 3 hours. And by that time, guys, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving until they hire me. Are you kidding? 3 hours? We're going to work this out. All right, let's get started. So today I want to talk to you about building your pipeline. And we're going to pick up where we left off on call number 2 yesterday. And we're going to get into a lot of scripts. And stop me at any time. Guys, if you want to talk, if you have questions or comments, just stop me. Okay. All right, so this is the day we close. And if commission is $10,000, the value of this opportunity is $10,000 on the day it closes. And we know that this line represents approximately 7 to 10 weeks before they list, or approximately 7 to 10 weeks before they buy. And that's when they get serious. And everything to the right of that line is transaction management. Now, everything to the left of this line over here is lead generation, which we're going to get into in just a second. And this area in the center is follow-up. Now, my job every day is to make 20 contacts. Now, right now, we should be doubling down on our lead generation. So this should really be 40 contacts. And the purpose of a conversation is either to get an appointment, and that means I'm entering opportunity into my pipeline, or I'm going to add somebody to my database. So I'm adding new Mets into my database. Or the third reason I'm making calls is to get a referral. Now, let's talk about the conversations. And I'm just going to start with circle prospecting, and I'm just going to keep going until you guys stop me. If you want to learn scripts, this is the time to do it, okay? So get ready to write. And if I were to call Michael, I would simply say, hey, Michael, John Dietz, Keller Williams Realty. The reason for my call today is we recently sold a home in your neighborhood, which is great news. Our challenge now is there are buyers who are interested in great homes like yours. And I was just curious, who do you know that might be thinking of selling their home?
Yeah, John, I don't really know anybody right now.
Okay. I appreciate you taking a moment to think about that, Michael. And you know, before I let you go, just out of curiosity, how long have you lived in your home?
Oh, we've been in our home for about 20 years now.
Wow, that's a long time. You know, again, just out of curiosity, if you were to move, I mean, hypothetical question, right? If you were to move, where would you go?
Yeah, we would probably go closer to the beach.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Love that. And you know, Michael, I'd love to stay in touch with you and be able to provide great service for you. And besides, I like to keep my friends and family members, hello guys, I'm talking about adding Michael right here. I like to keep my friends and family members updated on the market. Now, what that means is I send them interesting information on the real estate market once a month. And I call every 3 or 4 months just to check in. Would it be okay if I added you to that group?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Now that's one contact, and I've added one person to my database. Success. Matter of fact, that's a standard. Standards for me are things that have to happen every day. If I had a team and you were on my team, one of the standards to stay on my team would be add one person to the database every day. So that's a standard, and it's a standard I hold myself to. And today, with inventory being so short, with inventory being so low, this is a great call to make. And if you have a buyer that's interested in a particular area of town, or they're interested in a specific neighborhood, and there's not anything for sale, you could call that same neighborhood without a property selling. And I could say, hey, Cindy, it's John Dietz, Keller Williams Realty. Thank you for taking my call. I'm sure you're busy. I only need 60 seconds. The reason for my call today is we have buyers, because I do, guys. I have a buyer that wants to move into a specific neighborhood. We have buyers that are interested in your neighborhood, and there's nothing for sale. And I was just curious, who do you know that might be thinking of selling their home? By the way, that's called reverse prospecting. So we've covered circle prospecting and reverse prospecting so far. And when we get back to a point where you can go out and knock on doors safely, then you could do the same exercise, except now you're knocking on doors, you're not calling people. So let's move on to calling for sell by owners. Anna, good morning. John Dietz, thank you for taking my call. I'm sure you're busy. I only need 60 seconds. The reason for my call today is I noticed you're selling your home by owner. And I was just curious, if I had an offer, would you want me to bring you the offer today?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. That's exactly why we should get together. It will only take me 10 or 15 minutes to pop by so I could take a look at your home and potentially bring you an offer. You know, just out of curiosity, if we were to meet, do mornings, early afternoons, or late afternoons work best for you?
Late afternoon.
Great. So I'm looking at my calendar and I've got tomorrow at 3 o'clock or Monday at 4. Which would be better for you?
Monday at 4.
Okay.
Better.
Yep. Got the appointment. Cool. Moving on to expireds. And Jeff, John Dietz, Keller Williams Realty. The reason for my call is I noticed your listing came off the market. I'll be super quick. I was just wondering, are you still interested in selling your home?
Yeah, I'd like to sell it for the right price.
Yeah, that's awesome, Jeff. And are you planning on relisting your home?
Well, I guess I'm waiting to see what they say about this quarantine.
Yeah, I completely understand. You know, Jeff, just out of curiosity, when a home doesn't sell that should have, like yours, it usually comes down to one of three reasons, either price, presentation, or marketing. And just out of curiosity, which of those three do you believe is the reason your home didn't sell?
I don't think my agent was the best agent possibly for the job.
Okay. And if your home would have sold, where were you moving to?
The beach. I love the ocean.
Love hearing that. And are you still interested in moving to the beach?
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully as soon as everything calms back down and we can see people are buying again.
Yeah. I get that too. And you know, if I had a buyer that was interested in your home in the next 30 days, or let's just pretend to take me out of the equation. If there was a buyer who was interested in your home in the next 30 days and they offered you full price, would you want to get that offer?
Of course.
Yeah. So that's exactly why we should get together. I'd love to pop by and take a look at your home. And it will only take about 15 or 20 minutes so I could potentially bring you an offer.
How do I show the home once we list it?
Yeah. So you're concerned about the quarantine, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So we can either do virtual showings or we could do no-touch showings. Do you know what that is?
Sounds pretty interesting, but I'm guessing you don't touch.
So a no-touch showing is where I would come in ahead of time wearing a mask and gloves, and I would bring disinfectant with me, and I would open up everything, doors, windows, shades, blinds. I would turn on all the lights, wearing gloves and a mask, and I would disinfect everything. And then we would have the buyer come in right behind me with the buyer's agent, and that way they can look at your property without touching anything. And when they left, and when they left, I would go back through the property with disinfectant. I would disinfect everything. I would close all the windows, the shades and the blinds and all the doors. And that way you're safe because you know no one's touching anything.
Sounds like I get a bonus of a house cleaning too. Thank you.
Okay. So does 4 o'clock tomorrow or 5 o'clock work better for you?
Sold.
Yeah. Cindy, thank you, Jeff. Cindy, you had a question, and it's in the chat, which I can't see right now. But
my question is,
pop in for me. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, when you say price, presentation, or marketing, What is your definition of presentation?
How your home shows. Condition.
I was wondering if it was just condition, I mean, without saying condition, but okay. That's what I was trying to clarify.
Yep. It could be location. It could be staging. It could be the house is dated. All of that.
Got it.
Yep. Yeah. And by the way, 15 years of doing this, I've never heard a person say presentation. It's always the realtor's fault.
Right.
Yeah. Now, occasionally they might say price, but it's usually the realtor's fault.
Right.
Yeah.
And if they say, so if they say marketing, then are you just asking, so what do you think, they could have done better?
Not right now. So
Okay.
Here's what I want you guys to hear. The purpose of a call is to get the appointment. So I'm not looking to overcome objections right now. And I'm certainly not looking to sell you on why you should hire me right now. I'm not digging deep on what caused your home to sell or what I would do differently or any of that. All I'm interested in, Cindy, is getting in the front door.
Okay.
Yeah. Somebody
John?
else? Yes.
I wanted to mention something. Basically, we get telemarketing calls all the time, whether it be for Verizon or whatever the case. And a lot of times I listen to them just to hear the scripts that the other people are talking about.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I notice about yours is that it's natural. It's not, hi, John, this is Alex Kublikis. How are, it's comfortable. It is a conversation. You're hitting your bullet points, and it's not sounding like it's a script. It's a conversation, which is phenomenal.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Thank you for the compliment, and that's time on task over time. I promise you I didn't wake up one morning and just could do this. It took hours and hours and hours. Matter of fact, I have over 17,000 hours in this. So, and you said something that was pretty interesting. You said bullet points. When you are writing your scripts, I want you to write them out in bullet points. It makes it easier to memorize and internalize the scripts. In other words, good morning, Alex. This is John Dietz with Keller Williams Realty. The reason for my call is I noticed your listing came off the market. And I was just curious, are you still interested in selling? Any other questions before I move on, guys?
John,
Yes.
The conversation you had with Jeff wasn't for a pop buy. It was essentially a listing appointment.
It was.
Just
Yeah.
paying attention.
Yeah. Well, here's why. Because I asked him if he was still interested in selling his home, and he said yes. Now, the next question is, are you planning on relisting your home? If he would have said no, in other words, if I were to call you, Michael, and we've role played hundreds of times, if not thousands of times, so let's just do this, and I want you to say no. So Michael, John Dietz, Keller Williams Realty, reason for Michael. By the way, guys, the reason the expired call sounds a little bit different is because I want to get to the question as quickly as possible, because this person's going to hang up on me if I don't. So Michael, this is John Dietz, Keller Williams Realty. And the reason for my call is I noticed your listing came off the market, and I was just curious, are you still interested in selling your home?
Yes, I am.
No, I want you to say no.
Oh, no, I'm not.
No? Okay, I appreciate that. Before I let you go is a powerful script. Guys, it lets the other person know this phone call is almost over, and it takes them off the defense. So before I let you go, Michael, just curious, if I had a full price offer today, would you want me to bring you the offer?
Yes, if you had one.
Yeah, so here's what I'm hearing, Michael. You don't want to list your home, but you do want to sell it, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, see, that's exactly why we should get together. It'll only take me 10 or 15 minutes to pop by so that I can take a look at your home and potentially bring you an offer. Would 4 o'clock today work, or would 5 tomorrow be better for you?
4 o'clock would be fine, John, but I'm looking to list my home.
Cool. Totally understand. I don't want to list your home. I want to help you sell it. Now, here's another standard. That's an appointment. And that's also a standard. Every day, I'm going to get at least one face-to-face appointment with someone who's thinking of selling their home. Now, here's what this means, guys. I want you to think long-term. If I'm working 250 days a year, then that means, by the way, that's 50 weeks times 5 days. Then that means that I have 250 opportunities in my pipeline. It also means that I've added 250 contacts to my database because it's a standard. And a standard means I'm not done until I've scheduled an appointment or I've added at least one person. No, excuse me. I'm not done until I've scheduled a face-to-face appointment, or today maybe it's a Zoom appointment, and not or, and I've added one person to my database.
I have a question.
Yes.
I know you talked about this before, but I will focus on expires, what we just spoke about. At what point do we put in this care call of, are you healthy? And like right, we cannot treat it as if nothing happened. We are in health crisis.
Yep.
So do I have do I say the reason of my call is, do I ask, how are you, sir? Or I hope your family is healthy?
And I think that's a great question, and you should right now. I just didn't, and that's because of habit. Again, time on task over time equals mastery. It also equals habit. And I've created a habit of my scripts and honestly just forgot to add, by the way, before I ask you anything else, how are you doing? How is everybody at home? Okay, care call first. Anything else, guys, before I move on? Okay, so one of the other contacts that is going to be one of my 40 contacts is I'm working my database. In other words, I have my sphere of influence, everybody that I know, everybody who knows me and likes me, who would either buy a home with me or sell their home with me or give me a referral. And one of my 20 contacts, part of my 20 contacts includes reaching out to my sphere of influence and reaching out to my past clients. And this is where the 36 touch comes in. And I'm just going to go back to Michael. If Michael is part of my 36 touch, I'm calling him 4 times a year or once a quarter. And it's simply, hey, Michael, John Dietz, just wanted to check in. It's been about 3 months since we spoke. I just want to see how you're doing.
Yeah, John, thanks for checking in. Yeah, we're doing great, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing really well, very blessed and grateful. And you know, we've got this health crisis going on. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
How are you guys holding up?
Man, everybody here is good. And thank you so much for asking. How about you? Is everybody at your home healthy?
Yeah, we're healthy. We're safe, thankfully.
You know, I love hearing that, Michael. And you know, a lot of people are working from home right now. I am. Just curious, are you still able to go into the office or are you working from home?
No, me and my wife have been working from home for about 5 or 6 weeks now.
Yeah, you're still working though, right?
Thank God, yes.
It's awesome. I'm happy for you. Really, really am. You know, it's interesting because even though we've got this health crisis going on, I'm still working as well. And believe it or not, people are still buying and selling homes.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, no, I hear all this doom and gloom on the news. I try not to watch it, so that's surprising.
Yeah. You know, as a matter of fact, there were blank number of properties that went on the market in the last 7 days and blank number of properties that went under contract.
Man, blank property? Holy cow.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. Good role play. You know, and I'm getting calls from people who need to sell their home. So just curious, do you know of anybody right now that's thinking of selling?
Really, a lot of the people that I'm speaking to are just trying to stay pat.
Yeah, cool. And if you did know of somebody that was thinking of selling, Michael, would you refer them to me?
John, you helped us buy our house, of course.
So much. I appreciate that, Michael. Thank you so much. And because we talked about this, you're probably going to run into somebody who's thinking of selling. And when you do, would you do me a big favor and give me a call?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, cool. All right. So We're looking for a referral in that conversation, right? Somebody say right, so I know I've got people out there.
Woohoo, yeah.
There we go. Thank you. All right, so I'm
Absolutely.
making 40 contacts. I'm circle prospecting. I'm reverse prospecting. I'm calling expireds. I'm calling for sell by owners, and I'm working my database. I've got a standard of adding one person a day to my database, and I've got a standard of getting face-to-face with someone every day who's thinking of selling their home. And I'm really emphasizing the thinking of selling their home, or trying to sell their home by owner, or an expired listing who eventually is going to put their home back on the market. It doesn't matter to me if it's in the next 7 days, 30 days, 6 months, or 3 years from now. It doesn't matter. Now, the next conversation is, once I've entered them into my database, once I've met face-to-face, the next thing that I need to do in order to build a successful real estate career is I have to build systematic follow-up. In other words, I need a system to stay in touch with Michael, Anna, and Jeff. And that system for me, because I'm part of Keller Williams, is command. And command using smart plans is going to do a lot of the touches on a plug and play. I'm not going to have to do anything, in other words. However, I am going to have to pick up the phone and call people. Ford is family, occupation, recreation, dreams, by the way. And because I'm systematically following up, and I'm systematically following up forever, then eventually I'm going to talk to Michael on this day. And I'm going to just check in, and I'm going to say, hey, Michael, you know, John Dietz following up as promised, just checking in to see how you're doing. And he's going to say, wow, I'm surprised you called. We were actually talking last night about putting our house back on the market. This is really surprising that you called. And opportunity. It's opportunity because I created emotional proximity. And emotional proximity simply means the person who's closest to you when you decide to sell your home is the one who gets the listing. All right, give me all Haas. Questions? What'd you hear? What'd you learn? What are you going to do differently?
Hi, John. With some of the scripts that you were saying with as far as FSBO and expired, you were still using the pop buys. Now, when you're trying to make these appointments, are you still saying, can I pop by? It'll only take me 15, 20 minutes. Or if they're like, because they could be older, so they might not want you to pop by. As far as that, what would you recommend to get that appointment?
Yeah, so in today's world, in the middle of a health crisis, I'm going to be careful around that, Latoya. Again, I've just made a shift in the way I'm coaching you guys, and I am going back to coaching and training how to sell real estate, not just coaching and training on how to sell real estate in the middle of a health crisis. So it might be if I had, let's just role play it, Latoya. So you're an expired listing and you are concerned about having somebody come over to your house, right? Yeah. So Latoya, if I had an offer on your home, would you want me to bring you the offer?
Yes, sure.
Of course. And I know we're in the middle of this health crisis right now, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and I certainly don't want to make you uncomfortable. However, in order for me to bring you an offer, I need to see your home. And I'd love to schedule some time to do that. Would you be comfortable doing that now, or would you maybe want to wait a couple weeks when you feel a little bit safer having me come over to your house?
Yeah, I think I want to wait for a little bit because I am a high risk person in this time.
Yeah, I completely understand that. You know, in the meantime, we could do a couple things. One of those things is I'll stay in touch with you. Is that okay?
Yes, perfect.
Cool. And the other thing that we could do is if you wanted to, you could walk your property and take a video of your home and talk to me about your home as you're shooting the video and send that to me in an email.
Oh, okay. I can do that.
Okay, great. And then I'll take a look at that and see if it matches any of the buyers that I may have. And I'll also stay in touch with you.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you, John.
Yeah, you're welcome. So I'm just creating opportunity for later on again, right? Cool. Robert, on not finding phone numbers. Vulcan 7 is very reliable. It's also the most expensive third-party technology that you could purchase to get phone numbers. And a couple things on that. Focus on the numbers you get, not the ones you don't. In 2008, 9, 10, we were getting anywhere from 40 to 50 new expireds a day. And 20% I found phone numbers for. So let's just go with 40, and 20% of that is 8. So that's 8 phone numbers a day times 5 days is 40 a week. I'm cool with that. I'm not focused on the numbers I'm not getting. Now for the numbers, for the people that I can't find a phone number for, again, when you feel safe to do this, go knock on their door. If you can't find a phone number, go knock on their door. If they don't answer the door, leave a large envelope on the front door with a bullet point resume inside the envelope, and on the outside of the envelope, write urgent. So that when they drive home and they come home and they see that envelope, they open it and hopefully they'll call you. The other thing that you could do is send an email to the other agent. And if Jeff was the other agent, I would simply send an email to Jeff that said, hey, Jeff, this is John Dietz. The reason for my email is I noticed you're listing at 123 Main Street. He's the listing agent, by the way, guys. I noticed your listing at 123 Main Street came off the market. And if you're planning on relisting that property, please disregard this email. However, if you're not going to relist it, I would be glad to pay you a 25% referral fee for the seller's contact information.
You answer my question, John.
Yeah, good.
I was wondering if there is anything providing to us to do that, because when you are in the high-end listing, there is no way to find any contact. So that was the plan, to contact agent. Good.
Yeah, I would 100% do that. Yeah, you got nothing to lose. And you may get an agent who responds back to you in a negative way. Like, who the heck do you think you are? Just delete.
Thanks, John.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Cool.
everyone.
Yeah. Guys, 9:06. My next Zoom call starts in 4 minutes. How'd we do today? Did good.
Awesome.
Thank
All right.
you.
All right.
Thank
Good
you.
job, guys.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much, John. Bye-bye.
Get on the phone.
Have a great day, everybody.
Make it a great day.
Thank you, John.
Yeah.